what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Trucking Together. But you're trucking today with just Alice. I'm still here at this Love's in Bliss, Idaho. That's a great town name. I love that name. I still have about 30 minutes left before I can leave here and start driving. Oi, oi, oi. So I'm just trying to figure out what to do with myself. I think I'm going to go inside of Love's and wander around like a lost soul. Yeah.
Man, what happened to the nice weather? I still gotta tuck that. Don't mind that. Nothing I like more than working on old Peterbilt in the freaking wind and cold. It's so damn cold and windy right now. I have to put my lesbian coat on. That's right. I don't even really mind the weather over here, but it's stupid cold today. Taking this off so I can gain access to that, because I'm fishing a wire through. I got these all installed and wired up. Well, wired, connected, and these are just loose wires still. Don't mind that, because that's going away. And these are loose wires and stuff like that. I gotta do some tugging. But this thing's still waiting on its transmission. I got these installed over here too. Looks pretty sweet. I actually like the way it bounces off the green air tank. But anyway, those are all wired, and I got them ran over to the other side. Just kind of tucked away. Maybe I'll get some loom for this because I don't like the way it looks. But got the wires ran to the other side. And now I'm fishing them through the firewall, trying to find a good spot. And this is just the wire that I'm fishing with, and I think over there's kind of a good spot. So I gotta take the cover off the steering column, because it seems like it goes right through behind there somewhere. Feeding some wires down through there. And down through there. These we ran up to our switches up there. And we gotta tuck them up and zip tie them over there so they're out of the way. I kind of like this clutch extension. I know Alice was hating it at first, but I think it's, now that it's attached and it's solid, I think it's doing pretty good. So I'm running a new wire. This is a fog light switch, and it's an auxiliary switch, but there's something going on with the factory auxiliary, I guess, fog light harness, and there's a short in it. So I am going to run a whole new wire. The power side checks out, but the power going out to the fog lights, which is, I'm trying to hook up over here, as you see. Well, fog lights, the running lights. But the wiring is, like, all down there, the factory stuff. I don't mind this. This is just a quick splice I was trying to do to see what the hell the problem was. But something's going on in there. So we're just going to run a whole new wire and ground those fog lights. And this is another auxiliary wire that I'm running. So I'm going to wire in some more lights, so I just wanted to have it. So, yeah, let's put this deal back together, because it looks like a mess in here. So anyway, I'm going to run this wire. I'm going to connect it to this right there. And we should be good. Well, he did something right.
Alrighty, I got about 15 minutes here before I can leave on my good old babysitter. Yeah, my Qualcomm is my babysitter. I'm gonna go in here and get me some coffee. It is beautiful out here. I am really digging this place. We're in Bliss, Idaho. I think it's a wonderful name for a town. It's very blissful here. Can you tell? No, but I like it here. It's the weather is mild right now. I think it's in the 40s, but it doesn't feel too bad. Skies are fairly clear. A couple little stray clouds. It's a nice night. I think it's gonna be a great night to go trucking, and we'll leave it like that. But speaking of trucking, last night, well, I guess it wasn't last night. Earlier today, again, working nights, I'm not used to this, guys. Earlier today, I guess Tiny had a mechanical failure, and there's a pipe that works with the EGR. I don't remember the exact name, which pipe it is, but one of them, it cracked, and our team is broke down right now in Evanston, Wyoming, waiting on a shop to weld the pipe. And they're welding the pipe because you can't buy one anywhere. There's none in Salt Lake and none available in Wyoming. So they're doing a temporary fix so the team can get back home. Hopefully when they get home, Martin can find this pipe to replace it with a new one. I'm really hoping he can find one, because if it's one of those things that's on eternal back order, that'd be a bummer. But apparently it's a common failure on these X15s. So I guess today we're feeling the X15 blues. Oh my gosh, guys, when I was in there paying for my honeydew melons and my coffee refill, the bill came over for the repair, the temporary repair on Tiny, and it was $708. Are you kidding me? $708. I'm sorry, but I truly believe that these kind of places take advantage of people because they know they're out middle of nowhere and broke down and have nothing, no other options. Because there is no way that doing those welds and even the service call to go out there would be $708. Rip-off artists, man. Yeah, all part of trucking, I get it. I just don't think it's right. I was figuring, maybe $400. Figured wrong. Anyway, I got my coffee. I'm gonna put my cream in. I like using the heavy cream as opposed to the half and half or whatever they have here at the truck stops. So, ooh, there's a nice Pete over there. Robbery. There's a reason that saying even exists, guys. We just experienced it. Oh my gosh. Alright. I have been waiting here. Oh, wait. Alright. We just put ourselves on duty. We had 10 hours and 3 minutes on our clock for sleeper birth time. Cheers to that. And we're gonna be ready to roll here in just one momento. I already did my pre-trip out there when I was taking Macy out. I almost forgot my dog's name. And yes, I am drinking Red Bull and coffee at the same time, because it's just one of those days, guys. But I wish I had a third cup holder, because I have nowhere to put my melons. Oh my gosh. Alright, anyway, enough of all that. Let's get trucking. Go trucking, Fancy. Let's go trucking, Macy. Let's go, let's go, let's go. that clutch pedal. It's a doozy. Somebody is going to be so happy to have this spot. I think this was a pretty good spot. And they're just going to be tickled pink that it has opened up for them. I'm telling you. Alright, I think we have about 500 some miles here left to go. I tell you guys the route, but I don't remember it. It has something to do with being on 84 and eventually getting over to 90 and then, I don't know, getting over somewhere else. Oh man, I am not one of those truck drivers that knows what I'm doing. I'm telling you guys. No, I'm joking. But no, seriously, I don't remember which all roads we're taking. But we're taking some roads and we'll get there. We got it all figured out, despite not knowing the names. All right. Hey guys, so we made it here to the North Bend, TA. I've been on the phone, so I wasn't filming anything. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna fill you guys in while I'm feeling fancy up here. So yeah, I just pretty much since I left Bliss, I've been on the phone just catching up with friends. I haven't done that in a really long time because like usually when I'm at home I don't really talk to anybody, and like when I'm running a team with Martin I don't talk to anybody because if I'm talking on the phone I'd wake him up, and if I'm at home I don't talk to people because well I'm at home and I'm usually hanging out with my family or I'm taking care of things. So it's been a really long time since I've had that aspect of my life where I could like I guess socialize and catch up with friends. So I actually talked to a couple different friends for like literally hours. And what's really cool about having truck driver friends is like, they're the kind of people that you could like go years without talking, but when you guys talk finally, it's like, it was just yesterday that you guys were like hanging out. So it's like nothing's changed, even though you could have all this time that goes by where you don't talk. And I just love that. And like, I love this industry so much because I have made so many friends that are like, they're like lifelong friends. And it's just really, it's really cool because I can't say the same when I used to work at the auto parts store, for example. I don't have lifelong friends from the auto parts store, the auto body shop, but I have lifelong friends in trucking. So if you feel me on that, I don't know, give me an amen or something, right? But I was on the phone. The route to get here, it was interesting. So we took 84 and then we took, I want to say 82, and we crossed over the river between Oregon and Washington. And I took the first exit after we got into Washington. And that put me on some road, I want to say it was 14. And that was a real interesting road because you're kind of out there in like the middle of nowhere, all alone feeling. And it's up really high. And it's a 2-lane road, and I didn't know where I was because I've never been on this road. I'm just following the GPS. I asked Martin about it, and he said he's taken that way before. I don't know what the purpose of it was, and I think it avoids some pulls. I think it's a little bit quicker maybe, but I don't know if it actually is. But anyway, I took this 14. You go for like ever on it, it feels like, and then you come down this really steep hill. and it's just a 2-lane road hill, and you're just winding down it, and you have the most beautiful view of the city down below. And then when you get there, I'm pretty sure it puts you back onto 82, which is weird because it's like, well, I could have just stayed on there in the first place. And so we took that for a little while, and somehow we ended up over here on 90, which I'm here now at North Bend at the TA, and it's kind of tripping me out because I grew up here in Washington State, and when I was younger, like in my teen years, I spent time here, and so like when I was younger in my teen years, I remember coming up here and like spinning donuts in this parking lot. Or like I remember one time I took a trip with my dad and we stayed at a hotel across the street from here. And it's kind of overwhelming because like I'm here now and these memories are coming back to me. And I guess I kind of have to deal with some stuff. But it's been an interesting night. But as far as trucking goes, that road was kind of a little bit of a surprise for me. Snoqualmie was great. It's very cold though, I'm shivering, but easy to get over. There hasn't been any weather this trip. It's really weird. I don't know why. Where's the weather? Hopefully it stays away because Fancy's shining and looking really good. So we're about 30 minutes away from Siva. I'm going to top off this fuel. I have, in theory, about an hour to get out of Auburn and get somewhere. I got to start thinking about where I'm going to get because I'm not going to get very far. In hindsight, that's my fault because the first night, instead of stopping in Tooele or Lake Point, I really should have went a little further and stopped in Spanish Springs, or Spanish Fork, I'm sorry, but I didn't. And so that kind of had a domino effect. So I'm gonna see if there's somewhere I can get just to get something. Worst case, though, I might be at Siva tonight. So I'll check in with you guys though when I get over to Siva. So I'm here at Siva. I was just talking to the guard because, well, he needed to open the gate for me. You know, pretty typical standard stuff. And, well, there ain't nobody home. Nobody gets here till 8 in the morning. It's 4:30 in the morning. So my plan to leave here before I run out of hours, it's not happening. And I know it sucks because nobody told me this. So I'm gonna go find a spot to get rid of this trailer. And then I'm gonna go find a spot to park, I guess. And wait till somebody gets here. Just, man, what a stinking bummer. What a bummer.
Your destination is on the right.
Alright, guys. Oh, Fancy, why you gotta be such a difficult truck? You can't see because the freaking exhaust blocks your view. It's... We're getting it. Why, hello there. So I'm here at the Ribeye, exit 72. That's where I'm at. When I was a kid, we would always stop at the Ribeye every week. We drove down here to do horse riding lessons with this Arabian horse trainer. And on the way home, we'd stop at the Ribeye. Ate here all the time. It's only fitting I'm here right now. I'm a mess. It's early. I think it's like 7 something, 8 in the morning. Yeah. I just know I can't leave here till about 5:40 tonight. So what I was showing you guys on the mirror, it's not like peeling chrome. That's ice. When I got to Siva was very frosty. And when I was driving out of there, it was incredibly foggy. But it was weird because I didn't think it was freezing fog because it was very dewy. And my windshield I had to wipe my windshield because it was so dewy. But as I'm sitting here at the Ribeye, I look out my window and it's like all this ice is melting off these mirrors. And it's like, I guess it was freezing fog after all. Who knew? Not me. Anyway, so we got to Siva and they were closed. And they had a guard there. And all he could do was let me in. He couldn't take my paperwork. He couldn't tell me where to park. He couldn't do anything. So I called up Houston, the dispatchers, and I asked them, well, what do I do? Nobody's here. And they told me to break the seal, put the papers in the back, leave the trailer, and it looks like I'm taking an empty, so go find an empty. And, well, I couldn't break the seal because I didn't have bolt cutters because they got left in tiny. And there was nobody there that I could ask to get bolt cutters from because they were closed. And so that was my first hurdle. And then the second hurdle was the first trailer that I saw that was empty had a red tag on it. And all the other trailers were up against the building. And so they were like literally up against the building. So I wouldn't be able to check anything. So I just I gave up and I was frustrated. And I went out on the street and I parked because I said, well, I don't think there's any empties here. And she said, well, you have to wait till they get in. But by the time they get in, I would have been out hours. So I went and parked because I was frustrated. And it was suggested to me by Martin that, no, go back and look and see if you can find a trailer up again. Just try to see if you can somehow look between the dock and the trailers. So I went back and I did find a trailer because the way it's set up there, it's very tight. And there's a certain area of docks where the trailers, you can see in them. They're not like right up against the building, but where I was, when I dropped my trailer, everything was up against the building. Like you probably wouldn't be able to slide paper between them. So I found an empty and I called up Houston, gave them the number. They said it was good to go. So I backed up to it and I was backing up to it. And this guy comes running up to me and he's like, you can't take that trailer. I'm like, do you work in the warehouse? And he's like, yeah, I'm loading it. You can't take that trailer. And I guess he like showed up early to work by like 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, well, I brought a trailer in and I need to take it empty. And he's like, well, where's your paperwork? Where's your trailer? And it's like, well, it's in there. I'll go get you the paperwork. He's like, I don't even know what trailer you brought in. He was just being really difficult. And so I'm like, well, is there any empties I could take? And he says, well, you can go take one down at the end, which is where all the trailers were up against the docks and you couldn't see. So I did find a trailer that was not up against the dock that was empty. And so I hooked up to that. And he comes running out again. He's like, you can't take that one. Somebody else is going to load it. I'm like, what one can I take? He's like, well, you can take one of those right there. And he's like, then he started being nicer, and he's like, well, you know, we don't have very many empties because we don't have a lot of inbound coming in. And so they're really stingy with their empties, I can tell there. And I said, well, I'm going to be bringing you trailers in at least every week right now. So hopefully you have empties. But anyway, after a huge fiasco that probably took entirely way too long, it took at least an hour, but maybe 2. I wasn't keeping track. It took entirely way too long. I got out of there and I booked it down 5. And I booked it through the fog. And we ended up here at exit 72 at the Ribeye. And now I'm debating if I'm going to go into the Ribeye for old time's sake and have some breakfast, or if I'm just going to go to bed. So I think you guys will have to wait till the next one to find out. But yeah, if you've ever eaten here, let me know. I just, like I said, you know, it's something from my past, and I don't know, just memories. A lot of memories here. I'm not saying like it's all bad, because it's not. It's just kind of, you know, you leave a place. You leave a place for a reason, and then that place doesn't really matter to you anymore until you come back to that place. And then it's like all of a sudden you start remembering these things, and it's kind of weird. And like I said, it's not like it's all bad stuff. Like, there's a lot of good things. I mean, it's like I remember across the street at the Loves, there's a Starbucks over there. Not like at the Loves, but by the Loves. And I remember one time I came through here with my mom, and we wanted a cup of coffee, and we got a pour over cup. It was the worst cup of coffee we ever had in our life. So it's just things like that, you know. It's just you have things that trigger memories, and maybe it's because I'm tired, but like I said, I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. So it just feels really weird being back here. It's weird, but I'm gonna go either eat or go to bed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. But thank you all so much for watching, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, don't do anything. And if you get any sort of entertainment value whatsoever out of the channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, it doesn't cost you anything, just your time and, you know, the action of hitting that button. So I'm going to go, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I've been on the flex since flex on.